TK, so good to see you. So good to see, and so good to see all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in again to what has become a chat of some kind. I don't know if it's going to be a weekend thing anymore, but at least we wanted to do one more, just one more hit before the end of the year.
Exactly. And for those that don't know what we're talking about, AM and I, we started this when we were working at CNNMoney Switzerland, that we had a show together talking about trending topics and our stories. Mm-hmm. And we just liked working with each other. So we thought we need to do something. We need to continue that flow and those vibes. Mm-hmm. So here we are.
Here we are, and keeping it positive as always. Yeah. That was always like our thing, was to just kind of keep, especially during COVID, because this is a project that we started right before the lockdown happened, the first one. And then we did it throughout virtually. We thought, yes, let's end the year on a high note. And as you can see, I mean, I have to speak for myself. I am a Christmas enthusiast. So
this was all Anna Maria.
So I collected a bunch of stuff from my house, and here it is. I have a couple of kids, so there's a lot to go around. LED frosties and these are my. Can I? Oh, this has been my favorite.
Totally need to do this.
And then I've got the earrings, which I laugh about because this is something that I in the U.S. would be much more common. But my Swiss mother-in-law gave them to me. So I was told that if I didn't wear them to this year's Christmas Eve, I wasn't invited. So I've already pulled them out. There you go. There it is. I don't know where they came from, but definitely Christmas spirit.
But still, nevertheless, I mean, it's still a special Christmas this year. It's not going to be as we are used to it.
Ever. I mean, of course, it's like, it's something that we've obviously never experienced. And it's hard, especially for people that are far from their families. I mean, you have your mother
in Portugal.
Yeah. I have my family in the US, of course. So it's hard not to have been home for that. And yeah, it's a bit of a downer. And of course, people everywhere who have family far away. I mean, thank God for Zoom, right? I keep thinking Zoom is going to be like completely overloaded on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Yeah.
I hope they're ready for that. But yeah, Zoom kind of saves the day.
Yeah, I don't know yet. My mom is going to spend Christmas with some friends. At least I know she's spending it so she's not spending it alone. She's not spending it with us, but she will be with some friends, and I will be spending with my brother and my brother's family. So we still try to have a smaller, but I don't know how. So you don't know yet if you'll visit your mother-in-law?
Well, I won't go to the US for sure. But we may go to my husband's family. That's what we usually do when we stay in Switzerland. But again, now with the uncertainty regarding even domestic travel and lockdown, there's always that kind of fear looming in the background that they'll say, no, you have to stay home for Christmas. So we'll see.
Yeah. So we're recording this on, what is it today? The Friday the 18th, just in case we're airing this
afterwards.
And there's a lockdown. We spoke about it before.
Yeah.
So everything might change.
Such a good news person. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So we're acting as if we're going to still be able to celebrate with our families, and we hope that is the case for sure. Because I mean, I've 10 years in Switzerland. I've been here 10 years. There's a lot about Swiss Christmas that I've come to embrace.
Yeah, tell me about it. Like, what is different from what you know in the US? For me, I mean, this is just the usual thing.
This is usual. Yeah, well, I mean, for example, things like an advent calendar. Not that we don't have advent calendars, but here the advent calendar is a big thing, right? And you can get them from Playmobiles to chocolates to your traditional just paper windows. So, but I like it. Again, I'm a Christmas enthusiast, so I like it all. And then you have these guys that is, I always say this to my husband. The peanuts start the 6th of December. The peanuts begin to multiply all over the house because peanuts are a big part of Swiss Christmas.
Yeah, for me, it's like the most natural thing. So that's not something that you know in the US.
I mean, look at this. There's chocolates in there, but it's full of peanuts. It's full of peanuts and also
At least they're
kinds of
healthy.
nuts.
That's the healthy part.
I know, maybe.
Oh, and the how do you say it?
And the mandarins. Oh,
So that's also the healthy part.
Also very Swiss to have mandarins. So this is, I mean, it's really quite nice. And then you get multiple. This one you get from Sami Claus on the 6th of December, which is like the Saint Nicholas slash Santa, who comes and sits and talks to the kids and tells you if you've been good or bad. Did he come to visit you when you were a kid?
Yes.
Were you afraid of him? Or Schmutzli, actually?
Yeah, kind of. I respected them. I respected them.
Cute.
And I remember one time I was like, where is the, how do you say, the donkey?
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, oh, we left it downstairs.
Yeah. Kids always ask about the donkey. That's so funny. My girls did too. They're like, "Where's the donkey?" And you can reserve your Sami Claus visit online,
Oh, really?
even up to a year before. Yeah, it's
so it might
very
be booked
organized.
out at some point.
Yeah. They book out. Like we couldn't get ours on the 6th this year. We got them on the 4th. Anyway, so love that tradition. And yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty much a fan of all things Christmas. And then of course the Christmas Gutzli,
Yeah.
which is, I don't know, you probably made these too.
I didn't. I'm
What?
really. Oh, back
kind
in
of
the day,
Swiss are
sometimes.
you?
Yes,
Yeah,
But I'm,
back in the day.
yeah. I used to do them, but I'm not a big baker. So, and maybe also because I grew up with a Portuguese mother, so for her, this is not like we would do what you do on Christmas just before is rebanadas, which is pieces of bread that you put in milk with cinnamon. And then you fry it. You also have it in Switzerland actually, but it's not sweet. That is very typical for Christmas.
Okay.
But usually you do it on the Christmas, and then you have a cake, the bolrei, which is a cake of the king's cake.
That's for
Full of-
January or
No,
Oh, it's
actually,
for actually-
yes, or the queen's cake, and it's similar to panettone, but a bit more intense with a bit more sultanins and the fruits, the candierte Früchte.
like candied.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, like caramelized.
Yeah, exactly. So
Well, that sounds yummy.
Yeah, but yeah, my mom also loves Christmas, but just now I don't know, how are you doing it this year with all the gifts and everything? I mean, shopping is not as easy, and I remember my mother, she loved Christmas, and it was very funny because she used to wrap up random stuff sometimes for us, just to have the idea of having a lot of gifts under the Christmas tree and a lot of things to unpack. But sometimes it was just like, for me, a panettone or a pair of socks or, but as many small things. It didn't have to be like this big gift. Maybe you would get one if you wished it, but and then we would spend okay, this was for you, and we would laugh because sometimes it was also like jokes. She would put things that I don't remember, but things
like everyday thing, like toothpaste.
Yes, exactly. But sometimes it was really things that we needed somehow, or once, but that was not for Christmas. She gave me a key. I think she got it from Brockenstube, like the secondhand thing, just like an old key. And she was like, this is the key prejuízo, which means, oh my God, the word for well behaving, or this is a key for
good behavior.
Yeah, or something like that. Not good behavior, but I don't remember the name.
I can't help
It's
you.
like symbolic gifts.
Okay.
So yeah, I kind of like that because we still always had stuff to. I mean, that is when we were more teenagers. Of course, when we were kids, small kids, I don't remember, but there were real like toys and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think it's. I don't know. I don't know if I'm alone in this, but of course, these last few months have really been, really makes you think, right? It gives you some opportunity to be a bit more introspective and I think that's spilled over into even the gift giving thing. Like I am agonizing over what to get them because I don't want it to be just some more plastic crap. Pardon the language, just some more plastic that's going to be kicking around the house for the next how many months, And I really want to give them something that's meaningful. And that doesn't mean I'm not, they're not going to get toys. I mean, Legos and Playmobil are still the faves, hand down. But other things that I find they're going to be able to have longer, and I mean, in terms of space too.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes I feel like they open it, they're very happy, and then you have so many things that
and then they walk away.
Yeah.
And then they go play with the box that it came in. And the next thing you know, they're playing with the cardboard boxes that are, also kicking around the door of the house. So yeah, kids are funny. But I am just, I guess it's the overall feeling this year is also just a bit more, thinking more about.
We always wanted more, and now you feel like with the whole pandemic, also the reflecting, okay, it doesn't need to always be growth everywhere. It doesn't need to be abundance, and you don't need to buy everything.
And sustainability.
Exactly.
Like more and more,
exactly.
It just comes, maybe it's because it is more and more present in the media. It's more and more present around us. There's more and more awareness around it that you're just, again, all the packaging and all of the, all of the plastic, all of the stuff that just, it has nowhere to go, like it's the space is limited. So I'm not going to get on a soapbox at the moment. I mean, that's not what this is about, but it is something that comes to mind when I'm thinking of all of the deliveries that are happening. I got a box the other day of one small thing I ordered from my mother-in-law in a huge cardboard box full of plastic bubble wrap. It just blows me away.
No, it's insane. And talking of that, my mother again, she has been creating she's been using this year to reflect and to go back. And there's just a story I would like to share, because it was kind of one of the highlights for me this year. My great-grandfather was one of the first Chinese immigrants in Portugal. He started as a street vendor and then made his way up, and had then in the end a tie business, silk business. He used to sell ties for men, bow ties, but also, how do you say, gürtel? Belts, exactly. And he died young when my mom was 6 years old.
Oh.
Yes. So when he died, they had thousands of silk ties just in the apartment of my grandmother, and it just stayed stored for all these years.
Wow.
And my mom now took over the apartment, and she thought, and she has very good memories of her grandfather. So, and because she has this, she's very much tries to reuse stuff, and she has this sustainability aspect for since I know her. So she's been reusing it, and she loves sewing. So this year she started doing masks, and I have some here.
Let me see. Wow, that is like
made
I
of.
don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking of just a scarf that goes on your face. I don't know.
No.
But this is a full-on. Wow, this is it's a full-on mask.
Yeah,
and it has something in the back. Also
it's a TNT filter. Like it's been declared or from that it helps to reduce the spread. But it's really, if I imagine this silk, if I think back, it's over 60 years old, and it was my great grandfather, who I never met, who got the silk from Taiwan, and then he had the sewers in Portugal, the ladies that would come and get the silk and then bring back the ties. Now she's taking all the ties were never together. Used, and scrunchies matching. This is handmade by her, so set, and I just love.
Well, I have to ask: is she like selling those, or what?
Yeah, well, so she started. She did one for me, a mask. And then I had one friend that saw it, and before I went to Portugal this summer, she was like, "Oh, Tanya, would your mom make a mask for me? I would buy it." And I was like, "Oh," without me asking. So then I posted it on Facebook once, and then suddenly people were asking me, and my mom is super happy. Like, she's happy if people use it. And so, I've been selling them, and I was quarantined this year. And during my quarantine, I was like, let me just set up a web shop.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I didn't know this.
I mean, it's a bit of an investment because the web shop also costs and everything, but it's just
oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, and every mask is unique, you know, it's really a
Yeah.
piece. She's not only doing masks, she's also doing other stuff. But right now, this year, she felt like all these masks, they take away your personality. You don't see people's smiles. And with these, at least, you can keep a bit of vanity.
Yes, they're so nice.
And
Oh my gosh, you have a lot of them.
I have plenty.
So she's got a lot of them.
So
ladies
this
and
is one of
gentlemen.
my highlights this year, and what the pandemic kind of brought, being creative. And yeah, I wonder what your highlight was. What
Oh.
something that yeah
That I made?
touched, yeah, or not made it, anything that touched you.
Wow, so many things I guess we're touching about this year. But I have to say, and for those of you that have already seen the clip and the article, you're gonna be like, oh my God, stop talking about this. But it was very that whole scene with my daughter was still very much it was very much a highlight. I mean, I had never really been very outspoken about her and the fact that she has trisomy and all this kind of thing. I mean, she's just my daughter, so I didn't really, for me, it was not something to talk about. Oh, by the way, my daughter has, you know. So, but her little interruption there when I interviewed Severin Schwan,
Roche CEO.
yeah, Roche, it was just classic. I mean, and the response I got was overwhelming because so many people identify, right? I mean, I even got people saying, you know, that now their coworkers ask for their kids. So how is this one and that one, you know, and they expect to have somebody come by and say hello. And I just think that's so, I mean, it's so heartwarming that, you know, that we reach that level of openness. And I think Mr. Schwan, to his credit, just had the perfect reaction.
For those that don't know, Anna Maria did this interview. When was it? This summer?
In the summer,
In the summer,
like in July.
for
About
CNNMoney
the first, like,
Switzerland.
antibody tests and things.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. For CNNMoney Switzerland, and her daughter, Madeleine, just walked in. And he was like super nice. I watched the interview, and he even said, "Oh, you should keep that in." That was so sweet. Which you then still took out, but we shared it on weekend chat, and I think it's great. I really think it's so nice to give a bit of also make it visual, because I feel there's. I grew up in Rapperswil, and there's a school for kids with Down syndrome, and we had some in the in the neighborhood, and they're always like so sweet and full of, and so honest, and I feel like we can learn so much from them. So yeah, thank you for sharing. Sharing
you're welcome.
a bit of your. I think it's good for people just out there that don't know how to deal with it, or if you know, they have a bit of, I don't know, it's a bit of a taboo for them, or to think, or I don't know. For me, it's normal, but there might be.
I think for a lot of people, it's still just a big unknown. You know, it's just something that they don't know, understand, and everybody has these worst case scenarios in their head. You know, that this is like having a child with Down syndrome is like the end of the world. And yes, of course there is a range. You know, some children are more severely, you know, handicapped physically or mentally than others, but isn't that life, right? Yeah. There's a range of life. So for the most part, that's not the case. For the most part, they are, I mean, and I can speak from my personal experience, which is my daughter doesn't have any other conditions. You know, she's very healthy, and and it's not that they're happy all the time, but because she also can get very angry and very upset, and a little hard-headed. But there's a kind of there's kind of filter missing, in the sense that they don't have a lot of the same thoughts that we have, and they're unfiltered in their affection, which I think is what everybody picks up on.
Absolutely. Recently, I was standing at the bus station, and there was a girl, and she had Down syndrome, and she just came up to me and asked me, "When is the bus coming?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I love that." You know, no, she just talks to me, and sometimes people here are like,
Yeah.
and it felt so.
It's human.
It felt so human, exactly, and especially now with times where. people are keeping the distance, and we say keep the social distance, which it's a strange word because we should. I mean, we should be still socially. We have to keep the physical distance, but we're still like social beings. So while everyone is, you have this girl that just approaches you, and you're like, oh, so good, so heartwarming, just to talk to someone.
It's an open. Yeah, there's a bit of an openness that is really refreshing, I think. And actually, to the topic of having the children, the working from home and having the children come in, etc. I also came across an article which struck me on this term called secret parenting.
What does that mean?
It's about people that are still, even though they're at home and they have their kids, they still are feeling pressured to hide them. To be like, they're still working at home and they're like, it's not like you can say, and I still have to, it's like they have to keep their parenting a secret, even though they are at home and the kids are in the other room, because there's still a corporate culture that kind of seems to seep in. As I understand it, it comes from, comes top down, but it also, there are people that are just naturally not wanting to mix that.
Yes.
But the whole term just really.
But that is funny because you cannot secret parenting because your daughter Madeleine would just walk in, right?
Yeah. That was absolutely. She was unminded for 5 minutes, and then she just decides she can walk in because she. Why? My mom is in the other room. Why can't I come in there and
probably
say hi?
Also normal, like a kid, any kid would do that.
Child, every day. I mean, the other one tries to like sneak, crawl along the floor and thinks that she can't be seen, and I'll have somebody tell me, yeah, you have somebody sneaking in the room right now, and I'm like, oh dear, what? Yeah, I just say what I've been saying, which is let's just cut each other slack. Let's just focus on the task at hand, which is trying to mix these two worlds and keep the 3-ring circus going, and have compassion and empathy with one another. It's really, isn't that a Christmas message?
It is. Yeah, and I think, absolutely.
But thank you for bringing up the story of Madeleine. I appreciate that. That was a highlight for me. I mean, she's my highlight every day.
She is such a highlight. I find her so sunshine. Lovely. I've just seen her, I think 2-3 times maybe. But really, thank you for sharing. And usually when you comment, you kind of think, what do I want to do for the next year, right? Do you have any? I think it's so hard to plan.
Only thing is, as soon as we can travel, I'm going stateside for as long as possible, which will probably be the summer holiday. But other than that, in the distant, 6 months from now future, there are some jobs that are on the calendar, but I mean, you never know if they're going to go through, if they're going to be canceled or postponed again, or whatever the case may be. So it's really uncertain.
It feels like the plan this year, what we know is that we can just plan it. Like I'm planning a few weeks ahead.
Yeah.
It's like this, and then even people talk about June. I'm like, oh, June. So far away. I don't know what is going to happen until then.
You don't know. I don't know. But, again, I think the important thing, especially this holiday season, is to stay connected as much as possible. And I want to share one final story about how people are doing this and how people are still celebrating in spite of not being able to get together in big groups and things. Is my husband's office had a group virtual Christmas party, and what they did, and I just thought this was such a good idea. They had food delivered to everybody at the same time, so that everybody got a ring on the door, and they brought food. And then a while later, they brought a gift bag delivered to the door while everybody was online and playing games and via an app. I mean, I was like, awesome, because in spite of the situation, we should still do our best to have some fun and to stay in touch with our people, whether it be through work or family but I don't know. I thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, no.
So kudos to whoever organized that.
So that it doesn't just stay within being a virtual meeting, but that you kind of have this hybrid element that goes into, and everyone can open the gift.
Hybrid, girl. That is 2021.
Yes.
I think if there's a word I associate with 2021, it's hybrid, because I don't think the virtual fest is over. I don't think it's ever going to go away, actually.
No, I mean, this accelerated many things that some also needed some acceleration. I mean, home offices being normal. I hope that it's going to be okay within companies now to just do home office once in a while, and you're not looked at, okay, really? So that is great. Yeah, and many things we will see, but one constant I can think of, hopefully, will be this.
Yes. True. But this is a hybrid too, isn't it? A bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
True,
It's a hybrid of a video, podcast, virtual thing. Although, yes, we're still live. And we do hope to continue to do this next year.
Absolutely. So, yeah, check out. I don't know yet. We're probably going to put this up on YouTube and on our channels. And you can have a look. And we'll try to do it on a regular basis. And
that's all we can promise.
Exactly.
Is that we're going to try, because as we know, we don't know.
And let us know let us know what you think of this, if we should continue and what you like to hear. I mean, today was more of a end of the year chat, but usually we would also come up with some topics or trending topics that we've seen or whatever. We don't know yet. We'll figure it out.
I mean, I think Christmas is pretty trendy. I am a Christmas enthusiast. So it was great to see you guys. Thank you for spending the last, I don't know how many minutes with us.
Yeah, it was great seeing you. Thank you so much. Enjoy the holiday season and all the best for 2021.
That's it. Healthy. Stay healthy. Take care. Mind the physical distance.
Physical distance, exactly.
The physical distance. Please. We want to nip this in the bud as soon as possible.
So, and we'll leave you with this.